Today, new wheels for the bikepacking bike. So why am I making this change? This bike, the Giant ATX 27.5, came with an interior rim width of 19 millimeters. It had 2.1 inch tires on the bike stock. Those 19 millimeters were pushing the boundaries of a 2.1 inch tire. And I've since changed to 2.25 inch tires, which pushes that boundary even further. So I'm right on the recommended limit of tire size for that rim width. I found so far that riding the bike with the 19 millimeter rims, it's pretty much fine. But when I load it down for bike packing with my gear, that combined with riding on some really uneven terrain, some off-camber corners and trails that are uneven, the tire tends to squirm around a lot, and I don't like the feeling. Under load, either powering up a hill or some tight turns, I can feel the tires squirming too much. They tend to roll over whenever there's lateral forces applied to the wheels. The tire itself actually rolls over. I can overcome this by pumping up the tires to really high pressure. That gives a harsher ride than what I really want. So my goal with this is to try to make the wheel tire combo a little more stable under these circumstances, be able to run a little lower tire pressure. Basically, I just want to tinker and try this out and see what kind of change it makes and see if it results in any improvement. My new wheel set from ZTTO Wheels has arrived. Z, I'm Canadian, sue me. So I'm excited to try them out and see how they fit. Primary difference between these and what I already have is just the rim width. My current rims have an interior width of 19 millimeters. These ones are around 26 millimeters, which should work better with my 2.25 inch wide tires. Let's check them out. They feel reasonably light. So these come in numerous different types, either center lock or 6-bolt disc brake. I chose the 6-bolt to match my bike. I went for the quick release axle option because that's what my bike is. It does come with adapters to turn it into a through axle non-boost as well, because that'll fit the same width, fork, and frame, rear frame size. I'll only need to use that option if I change my forks into a through axle style. The other option, of course, for a rear wheel is the hub style. This is the HG style driver, which matches with my cassette. There's also XD and microspline style, if I'm not mistaken. 3 different options you can choose from. So what it says, 6 pawls, I think. Looks okay. Not sure I'm going to keep the stickers. Otherwise, they look pretty well made. For $200 Canadian on AliExpress, not too bad. All right, let's see how they fit. Before we do that, here's the adapters that come with it to change it to through axle. When you order the quick release or QR option, it comes automatically with these through axle adapters. Of course, these are non-boost. If you need boost, you can also order a boost wheel, which I imagine doesn't come with any adapters because there's only one way to fit that. Success fitting the front. And it fits. I was curious to know how much tire sealant was actually left in these tires. Since I did them the first time, now I know. I get the sense these valves get all gummed up with sealant. And I don't know if it's better to just chuck them or if you can clean them out. I'll have to experiment with that. So here's the difference in the two rim widths. On the left is the old 19 millimeter wide rim. And here's the new ZTTO rim. I think they call it 25.7. So let's just call it 26 millimeters. The ZTTOs come with this rim strip. It's not rim tape. It's just sitting in there. It's not stuck to the rim, so I'm going to use the same Gorilla tape. Well, new Gorilla tape, but the same type of tape that I used on my other rims to try and do these up tubeless. For those of you that have seen my other tubeless tire video, you may have a little bit of PTSD right now. Sorry about that. Ever since I thought about getting these new wheels, I've kind of been curious about whether the tire itself would actually be wider on the wider rim or not. So let's measure and find out. So with these 2.25 inch tires on a 19 millimeter interior diameter rim, it's about 53 millimeters or 2.1 inches. So now this is the measurement on the tire that I just mounted. Same tire, wider rim, almost 26 millimeter wide rim, interior diameter, and it came out to 54 millimeters. It's just like the tiniest bit. It's like half a millimeter at the most wider. It's of course best to put blue Loctite on the bolts. I've just always reused, once it's had factory Loctite on there, I've always just reused it, and so far it's been fine for me. I don't know if I'm taking a risk by doing that, but it seems to work okay. Of course, trying to be very careful not to cross thread any of these into the brand new wheel. Bike rotor bolts should be somewhere in the 4 to 6 Newton meter range, depending upon the manufacturer. So we'll just go around 4, maybe 5. Front wheel basically done. sound is quite satisfying when it's stretched and it goes in there. Okay, there's my valve hole. Again, pretty short. It just works to fit my pump over there. I think these were 40 millimeter valves. If I were ordering new ones for these wheels, I'd probably get longer. Okay, so hub, right hand side, direction of rotation this way. Should be good. Should have recorded myself last time doing the front tire when I figured it out. Psychologically, I'm starting on the other side, so now it's just going to magically work. So after mounting up the front tire tubeless, no problem, using my little plastic sprayer hack, the rear has been a real pain. I can't seem to get it to seat, so I broke down and I bought an air compressor. Wasn't what I wanted to do, but I just got to the point where I just wanted it to work. So let's give this a shot and see what we get. Okay, now a little soapy water. All right, fingers crossed. Let's see how this works. It worked. Sweet. Okay, it's all on the first side. And it's all the way seated on the other side. So now let's see if we can get some sealant in this and we'll be on our way. So it's time to let the air out. Hope the bead stays seated and add some sealant. Okay, so this is 60 mils or around 2 ounces. So I'm going to put 2 of these in. Bottle number 2. Time to add the valve. I'm spinning the whole thing. I'm gonna have to tighten this up a little bit. Yeah, the compressor makes it a lot easier. not straight. Gotta fix that. There we go. Finally. Okay. So the new wheels are installed, and so far, after one test ride, they appear to be great. Everything I hoped for. The tires don't roll as much as they used to before, like I demonstrated with the old rims that were quite narrow. They still, of course, flex because that's kind of what tires do. But there's a subtle, but not so subtle difference between that feeling of them flexing, as you'd expect, and feeling like they're actually rolling over to the point where they might actually pop off the rim, or you could lose control when you're on a really off-camber style of corner. So overall, I'm happy with the upgrade. The ZTTO wheels, they seem great to me for the price. I don't have any experience with high-end wheels to know the difference or any way they might be lacking. They're lighter than the wheels I had, even though the rims are bigger. So far, they seem like a pretty good deal for the price. But my upcoming bikepacking trip will probably tell the real story about how they hold up under heavier use, and we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching. I hope you found some of this helpful.